Mike Lynn Memorial League. Week 7. Power Rankings. Hey guys, getting ready for week 7 here. It's take 2. Normally we just record this all in one take, but there's a definite not safe for work version of this that I tried to record with my co-host that maybe it'll see the light of day sometime, but I don't really feel good about publishing that and sending it out. So we're going to move on. Okay, week 7. No sponsor this week, just a moment of silence for the late great Flip Saunders. And on a non-football note, I guess I normally don't get legitimately sad or choked up or shed a tear over a celebrity or an athlete or just a famous person in general passing away or any sad stories like that. But this one actually got to me this week, hearing the precious voice of our star point guard, and I will call him a star point guard, Ricky Rubio, saying, "We lost our dad." That legitimately got to me. So Flip will be missed. And then another sad moment this week, hearing Jerry Kill talking about his retirement, his decision to retire. That was another sad one. So tough week in the Minnesota sports landscape. I guess makes you appreciate the fun stuff we do get out of sports. And makes you remember, hey, there are real people behind it all. Anyway, not going to get too sappy. I'm going to move on directly to Week 5. Results. Tommy's Terminators, 84. Team Mangravy, 46. High score from the losing team, 25 points from Lamar Miller. It's a theme in most of the games, I think. Tom's balanced attack brings home another salami. Stunt Cock, 57. Stern Rake, 45. Adam gets 20 points from Andrew Luck, but my team was too good to overcome. Man at Work squeaks by Juchi's Giant Jocks, 54-52. Behind, 16 points from Mike Evans. Hey, look at that. Meat Eaters technically defeat yesterday's Corn, behind 13 points from his kicker, Nick Folk. Tom Brady, 23 points in the loss. Difference is if the Ravens had fallen on that punt in the block punt in the end zone, game over, and Mike would have had a win. So 62 points is this week's tough loss. Homies, 80. Injured Reserve, 31. Some Super Bowl or whatever game of the week, behind 22 points from Todd Gurley. Yeah, so the homies keep rolling. Injured Reserve. It's a bad trend. A couple weeks in a row. Who's this? Aaron Mofo Rodgers, 43. Weapons of Matt's Distraction. Nice name. 23. Behind 15 points from Mark Ingram. League average 54 points this week. That's about where we normally are. Let's take a look at some transactions. Trades. I traded for Alfred Blue. Probably should have drafted him and not Johnny Manziel with my last pick. Or it wasn't the last pick. Whatever. I had every opportunity to get him, and now it cost me a 9th. And Dustin Hopkins gets traded back to Juchi's Giant Jocks for a 12th rounder This guy, I'm confused. He's gone back and forth a bunch of times. This just goes, if to anyone who wants to have team kicker trades are dumb. Maybe we should vote on team kicker. Am I out of place saying that? I don't know. Those are your trades. Taking a look at the standings, everybody's 4-3, just about. I mean, we have 6 4-3 teams, 5 4-3 teams. Everybody's kind of alive except probably Sean, although he's got a chance, and definitely not Matt. His team's really bad. But otherwise, no one's really pulling away, and everyone's kind of in it. So nice to have a mostly competitive look at the standings. It's going to be interesting when it comes down to those last 2 playoff spots. I have a feeling a good team is going to be on the outside looking in. All right, the rankings. Number 12, weapons of Matt's distraction. Last week, 12, 0-7. 3 guys in the lineup, 0 points, and a defense had negative points. You're never going to win when that happens. But, as Matt said, there's a fire sale, so it's going to be building around the young guys like Watkins, I'm assuming, and Duke Johnson, I would assume, and I think those are your only 2 good young players, and everyone else is available in a trade, apparently. It's a tough first year. A lot of bad luck. Definitely rooting for you to get some wins at this point, but the number 1 pick looks like it's going to be yours. So start watching those college football games. Maybe it's Doctson from TCU. Maybe it's Ezekiel Elliott from Ohio State, as Glenn Mason would like to say. Who knows? But maybe you should be watching on Saturdays instead of Sundays. Number 11, Stern Rake. 2 losses in a row. Hey, potential upside, Adam. You got Golden Tate and you got Amir Abdullah. You want them to start scoring points. Well, the Lions just basically fired the whole offensive staff. So maybe that'll help. Probably not, though. So it looks like Andrew Luck's back on track, but the rest of your team is kind of a dumpster fire. Which is a pity, because at 3-4, you need some luck, but still alive. Number 10, Juji's Giant Jocks. Last week, 9th, and Sean, I actually wanted to rank you higher, but at a certain point, your record does factor into these rankings, and we're at about that point. And I don't understand your obsession with Larry Donnell. He's been in your lineup far too often for a guy who I don't even think has 10 points on the season. And the fact that he was in your lineup and Justin Forsett wasn't cost you a win, which I'm sure you're keenly aware of, so I don't need to rub it in. But that has kept you from being a little bit higher in this week's power rankings. Number 9, Aaron Mofo Rodgers. Last week, you're 8th. Did get a win, but it was a 43-point win. So that's kind of like you basically had the taco bye week. And so congratulations. Everybody gets that this year once. But Ingram is worthy. Really, you've got some good players, but none of them seem to want to have a good game the same week. Your number 2 receiver is kind of a struggle. And I can't say that I'm fond of your name, so I would say Aaron Mofo Rodgers. That's a terrible name. But great avatar. Nothing wrong with that. Number 8, Men at Work. Last week, 10th, moves up a couple spots with a healthy victory. Breakout game from Mike Evans. Antonio Brown is back on track. But, Rob, Christine Michael, Eddie Lacy, a bunch of other crappy guys. These are your running backs, man. So, in a big brother bowl against Dave this week, we'll see if that ends up mattering or if Eddie Lacy gets on track. Number 7, Team Man Gravy. I think Chad was 5th last week. Lamar Miller, looking fantastic. Maybe not tonight. But TJ Yeldon, who was a very high draft pick for you, on the bench, but looking good. And still, no wide receivers. And Drew Brees is kind of gimpy with his shoulder. So, anyway, moving on. Number 6, yesterday's corn. Loses on a technicality. And apologies, Mike, I did not mean to give you the wrong record on last week's rankings. The rank was correct. The record was not. Vincent Jackson's going to be out a couple weeks. Hopefully, Devontae Adams plays. Otherwise, your receivers are gross. Tom Brady, getting it done again tonight here at the start of Week 7. So, obviously, the big three of Brady, Lynch, and Forte are keeping you in it. Number 5, injured reserve. Dropping down, the farthest faller, biggest mover this week. Down from number 2, 2 losses in a row, 2 stinky losses in a row, scoring in the 30s. So that running back duo, Justin, is not getting it done. Who would think? I said early in the season, AP, Le'Veon Bell, how are you ever going to lose, basically? And those two not carrying the load. Also, stinky performance from Bradford and Manning, so maybe Roethlisberger coming back will get your team back on track. Jordan Matthews, what is up with him? I would have drafted him. He didn't fall into me. He's a guy I really like coming into this year, but he keeps dropping the damn ball. And when he does get it, manage to hang on to it, he doesn't get very many yards. So I don't think he's scored since week 1 or 2. But I did notice Darren McFadden had the breakout. I think there was an issue with Joseph Randle, so he's done. So maybe you can turn McFadden into a better number 2 receiver? I don't know, because you have a great number 1 receiver in Marshall. Maybe not great, but very good one. So, anyway, here's hoping you get back on track moving forward. I think we play each other this week, so maybe I don't hope you get on track. Number 4, Stuntcock. I was 5th last week. I got a win. I did move myself up, but my team got worse this week with Arian going down. Also, I don't know if Travis Kelce's ever going to score again. I'd certainly appreciate it if he did. He's getting the catches and the yards, but no touchdowns. I do have extra receivers. Anyone out there wants a receiver, I've got one I would move if the offer was right. So like a John Brown, maybe he could be yours. Or maybe you want to go even younger with someone like Tyler Lockett. You never know. Number 3, my co-host, who, like I said, we did record a version with the two of us, but I'll run it by Dave to see if he wants the rest of you to hear it. Anyway, Dave's number 3, puts up big points again. T.Y., Nuke, he's got 4 good receivers. Nuke actually came back to earth a little bit in that, thrashing that the Texans took. But it didn't matter. Everyone else kind of stepped up. And I'm going to say it. Kicker trades are dumb. That's all I got on Dave. Number 2, Tommy's Terminators. Tommy Salami. Last week, 3rd, moving up to number 2, 4-3, but all 4 wins have been King Salami. So when you win, you go big. I don't understand Amari on the bench, not that it mattered, but overall you've got kind of an embarrassment of riches. Doug Martin's now playing like an RB1. Alan Hearns is scoring touchdowns all over the place. And, of course, you were gifted Phillip Rivers. This team's very good. It was a tough decision between number 2 and number 1. But definitely a team that most people won't want to play each week. Number 1, the Homies. I know I said last week that we don't have a lot of good, maybe we could use a refresh on some team names. The Homies is a great team name and a great avatar. Another win, 2 in a row. I'm going to call Todd Gurley the steal of the draft just to get to Dave. How can the number 2 pick be the steal of the draft? But Gurley, and a lot of people say you'd rather have a receiver than a running back, but I think this, having having a 20-year-old or a rookie running back is equivalent to having a receiver who's 3 years older or something like that. Anyway, I would rather have Gurley than Odell the way it's looking right now. The rich are going to get richer again because Dez is going to be back. Larry Fitzgerald's kind of coming back to the pack a little bit, but that doesn't matter because Alshon, Dez, Calvin, it's disgusting, really. Todd, number one, and someone's going to have to beat him, and he's, for that to change. All right, let's move on to the prediction. Homies with a 20-point win over Stern Rake, 71-51. Stuntcock gets taken down by Injured Reserve, 66-55. Yesterday's corn leaves a skid mark on Juchi's giant jocks. Meat Eaters beats up on Man at Work in the Battle of the Brothers. Team Mangravy ekes by Aaron Mofo Rogers, 57-53. And Tommy's Terminators, 71. Weapons of Matt's Distraction, 32. Hey, congratulations. I'm predicting 32 points for you, Matt. All right, guys. That's all I got. Sorry for the delay. Tried to get this out with a co-host, then had to redo it a couple times because of some interruptions. But those are the predictions for the week. Oh, one thing I totally forgot. In the beginning, some really big news. I don't know if you heard the music it was playing, and for you true fans, you'd know what song that was. But big unretirement this week. Phil Collins is back, you guys. And in other really big news, I could have brought this out earlier, but a guy at work this week on Wednesday, best work day I've ever had, a guy, and I'm going to try and keep this whole thing safe for work, but a guy had to take a deuce in a trash can, which is the most hilarious thing that's ever happened, and I just had to share it with you guys. So somebody crapped in a trash can at work. It wasn't someone in sales, though, which is a little disappointing, because if it was someone in sales, they would have had to quit. But it's like someone in IT who's famous on my floor now, but nobody is any wiser. So, perfect scenario. If you had to crap in a trash can at work, this guy figured it out. Anyway, that's all I got. Congratulations to everyone that won last week. Better luck to anyone that lost. And, yeah, that's all I got. Bye-bye.